Lord Vader, can
Hmm?
you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I could.
How
Are
are
you
you doing
seriously
tonight?
drinking your liquor out of your Vader cup?
This is my Vader cup.
He's drinking his liquor out of his Vader cup. That's the funniest thing in the world.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
It can't hold that much, so I put a refill nearby.
Oh, okay.
But that's why I was
Let's see.
saying, Lord Vader, can you hear me?
Uh,
So I do not see Harris yet. One of the funny questions I wanted to ask you, I just had this weird thought about a Jedi character. Do you think Depa Bilaba was named after Ginkgo biloba?
Probably because he was so forgetful.
Like, you know how you'll hear like some kind of food or some name?
Yeah.
It just sounds like these weird alien names sometimes that these Jedi have. It's I think that they were inspired by like food sometimes.
Like Harris just texted, he's coming on in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Let me run and get my chapstick. Hold on.
Okay.
My lips are bugging me.
And you gotta get a drink too. Don't forget your drink. Don't forget your drink. This is a lightsaber party. You do not need to have your lightsaber on you, but that would help. A Sith Lord does not need a lightsaber, just in case you didn't know. A Sith Lord uses other powers such as lightning, such as cunning, such as planning. You know, they would definitely plan ahead. So no lightsaber really needed. Like Darth Sidious kept his lightsaber in a statue for years before Yoda walked in or Mace Windu walked in and he needed it. But, you know, everything was planned for. He had that all ready to go. He had, I think, 2 lightsabers in 2 different statues in his office just for like 10 years. Waiting, just ready in case these Jedi came by. In case some Jedi like Jedi Koi over here. Every single Jedi.
Jedi Koi.
Ken of the Hill 3, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for being here. I hope you got something to wet your palate. Hope you got something to chill out with. We're going to be hanging out here. Harris is coming by in a minute. We've got a few little announcements. Gabe has something new to show us. I got a couple videos I want to play for you guys, and we'll discuss it. I finally figured out how to like figure out the audio, getting the audio to share. I was boomering out and not understanding that for like 3 weeks. So now I finally understand how to do it, and we will share some audio, go over a video. I got an email from Star Wars today. If any of you subscribe to like StarWars.com, they may have sent you an email. They put a little video together. It's like a 4 or 5 minute video about lightsabers. So I thought we would, you know, watch that and see what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I wasn't aware of that.
Mark is here. What's going on, Mark? Thanks for joining us.
What up, Mark?
I've got Mark's saber just about ready. I am working on the, you know, the vibe motor's been installed in there for months, like way up in the neck part, because you're supposed to keep it away from the electronics, basically. But Jedi Arms Dealer is actually helping me like tune that up.
Is that the one that it rumbles on ignition only?
I'm getting it to do like something that, yeah, like Jedi Arms Dealer is helping me do something that he says is like unprecedented. It's going to be pretty awesome because it's on the Profi. Yeah. And so it's actually going to rumble on startup, on blaster deflect, on clashes. It's going to hold the rumble, and it's going to rumble on what was the other thing he said? was one other thing. Like there was like a bunch of moments it was going to rumble. Oh, and I think on the retraction, like you said, yeah.
I would totally want mine on the ignition and retraction. If I could, if I can get that done.
That's what you liked. I think it was like Bill's saber.
Yeah.
When we were playing with it, it did that, and that was some old board, like an Ultra Sabers or something like that.
Yeah, his only did the ignition. That was it, as far as I remember. It didn't rumble. But then again, I didn't mess with it anymore other than that. But I noticed, unlike previous rumble motors where it just stays on the entire time, the saber's on. This one just went on, just sporadically at the moment at ignition. But that was it. And then it shuts off, and I would want that for mine. And then at retraction again would be dope. That would be dope. What do you think?
What do you got, Jeffrey nearby or something? I was going to say, if I have to step away for any moment, I was going to say the rule is no puppet. If I hear a puppet, I'm going to come running.
What do you think? Use the force.
Where is my file? I'm looking for something. My photo stream. You had a good day today, Gabe, right? Your lightsaber came in. Your Princess Leia.
Yeah, man. It was it said it would be delivered by Thursday or Friday. Next thing you know, it's at my front door today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Christmas came early. I was freaking out. I wasn't expecting it today. And it's amazing. It's everything I thought it would be, man. It's awesome. You know how you see things on video and pictures, and then you get it physically in person, and it's not like what you wanted or expected. But this is actually awesome. Yeah, it
looks so shiny in the picture.
Oh my god, it's a fingerprint magnet, dude. But it's gonna just anyway, so it's fine.
It's one of those ones where you want to use gloves with it, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I have a glass display case with a front glass door you can shut. It's going to be put in there. As we spoke about in the previous episode, I think, we have those sideshow Baby Yodas coming and stuff like that. So once that comes in, we're going to put it in a glass display case with the saber.
Oh, okay.
With her saber, at least. Mark asks, will the battery be removable with your setup?
No. No, it's not.
Also, the model of the
it's not easily removable.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think Harris is here. What is going on, Harris?
What up?
Yeah, that's the one.
Boys and girls.
What is going on? How are you today? How was work?
I was off today.
Oh, you're off today. Good for you.
Yeah. Did a little laying around the house. It was my daughter's birthday. So we
was
sang
it birthday
happy birthday to her.
Awesome.
20.
Jeez, time flies.
Keith WM1970 says, what's up, Harris?
Yo, yo. What's up, dude? How you doing, bro?
Harris, what saber are you messing around with tonight?
I'm still playing with my little custom Kyojin.
Nice.
Hanging with that. Loving it. I got about 25 fonts on it so far. Some good ones. I like the old ones. The downfall, the old ones aren't smooth swing. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm still having fun. Last night, my daughter had a bunch of friends over, and for her birthday, and I turned on the Shamin font, the old one I got years ago. Bad motherfucker. And it was cool.
I have that
they
one.
were laughing. They were cracking up listening to that. I was playing with that. Yeah, that was fun. Fun stuff. The kids were cracking up. You know, when you hear that come from a lightsaber, you don't expect it. You know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it more funny.
Yeah.
All right, so Gabe, let's
Yeah.
reveal this hilt. Let's do this like reveal for this hilt. Mark got one too.
Yeah, I'm dying to see it, man.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, upside down. Dun,
Let me
dun,
put this screen bigger here.
Dun, dun, dun. The Transcendent Custom Lightsaber from DX Sabers, they're called. And again, I was expecting it Friday. I think it was Thursday or Friday. And then next you know, my wife says, hey, it's here. And she was excited because this saber's for her anyway. So here it is. There it is.
Wow.
Bling, bling.
Looks bigger than I thought it would be.
It's actually thinner than I thought, believe it or
Shiny.
not. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually as thin as my
A little shorter
Ascend.
than that one.
Yeah. It's as thin as my Ascend, except it's got these, the little grips here on the side, these metal grips, so that kind of bulks it up a bit, but not too much though. But
I like
here
how
it is.
they're contoured. That looks like a great grip.
Oh yeah, it is. It's so comfortable. Again, it's just a fingerprint magnet. Mark,
Are they screwed in, Gabe, or no? Are the grips screwed in?
No.
Are they screws, or are they
They look like they're screws.
like rivets?
There's no screws in there, to be honest with you. It's just holes. All these are holes.
No, there's not. Oh wow.
Yeah, they're all.
Okay.
I expect
That'll
when I
let some
saw that.
sound out. That'll be nice.
Yeah, when I saw it, I kind of panicked. I'm like, oh man, did they send like the screws separate, and I got to screw them in myself? But there was nothing else included, so I guess it's supposed to be like that. But
Yeah.
Are
As
you
long as they're
thinking
attached,
it
they're not
is?
falling off.
Are you thinking it's steel or aluminum? How does it feel as far as weight?
well, I mean, it feels like the Ascend.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it feels like the Ascend.
Uh-oh, guys. I think I lost sound.
If you did go, you have to log back out. Well, he probably can't hear me anyway. Mark, to answer your question though, I am super happy with it. The camera really doesn't do it justice. The lighting in here, my room sucks, but it's like an awesome rose gold with the chrome on there. It is an empty hilt. I did not get this installed because I wanted to do the install with the guys myself. So this is
that's cool. That's a great shot of the inside.
Yeah, this is completely empty, all empty.
Very nice.
Let me see the pommel. I
was just going to show you that too, because the only thing I don't like about the pommel is it's pretty. Don't get me wrong. What I don't like about, let me take it off. What I don't like about the pommel, it only has these little windows on the side. You see? There
are actually holes that go through it on the side.
Yeah, on the side.
That might be enough. I don't know. It might be enough.
I think that'll work.
So I'm hoping it is enough, because if not, then I would like to see if we can Dremel two or three holes evenly on the bottom, but it's only got those little vented windows on the side. See?
Yeah,
that's an easy enough fix.
Yeah, but I don't know, Harris. Like if you think twice about the finish here, it is. I don't know. You could run into an issue when you try to drill through, and it could crack.
And I was also going to say, I mean, at the same time, it's only going to be a display saber. You know what I'm trying to say? It ain't like I'm going to be taking this around. This is for the wife anyway. Sure. One detail I do like about this is the button, man. That button, if you notice, it's
I wanted to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah. The button is this is obviously rose gold, but the actual tactile part here is like a ivory, some kind of white.
Look white.
Yeah, it's like a white plastic ivory thing. I mean, the detail on that is pretty awesome. If you notice that.
Now it looks like an inlay you'd see on a guitar neck.
Exactly, like the inlay you see on guitar neck. I mean, this is probably just plastic. I'm not saying it's high-end material, but it's just it's just a cool detail they added as opposed to just making it solid, one metal piece or one plastic piece. I thought
nice
that
was
accent. Pretty cool too. And if it lights up, it would be even nicer. If you set it up for that to light up, I would imagine it looks nice. It's just a fingerprint magnet. That's all I got to keep in mind. But since this is just for the wifey and it's just going to go in a display case, you know, we're happy with it. She's happy with it. That's all that matters. It's a beautiful looking hilt. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It does feel like aluminum to me, not steel, but you know, it'll be cool to do a simple install in it with 1 or 2 sound fonts, a couple colors or whatever she wants, and call it a day. You know, put it in the display case and maybe convince her to wear it once in a while, maybe to a con.
Give it a month, and guarantee you people will be making chassis for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep, I bet
you.
Go
on what do you call it, on Shapeways, and get a chassis for it. Make it look nice.
Yep. They did send
beautiful.
They did send a couple retention screws with the Allen key. That's all I got in the box. A couple retention screws. I guess
is that for the blade retention? Maybe is there like a little hole for that?
Yeah, there's hold on, I gotta get on camera here. There's one right here. There's one right here. And then
is that for the second button? Didn't Mark say last time, or didn't someone say that there was a second button? Is that it right there, the little tiny thing?
That looks like a screw that holds it together, Ant.
I don't know what that's for, but there's I got 4 retention screws in there. Let me see.
Gabe, say the name of the hilt again for Tom.
Here, I'll show you. The Transcendent
custom lightsaber. Now, who makes that?
DX Sabers in China. They make a bunch of replicas and stuff like that. And
nice. Let me see the emitter on that, Gabe. Turn it face forward. I like the holes. It's got that Obi-Wan look.
Oh yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Really fantastic looking saber.
No, it's if you see it in person, I'm telling you, this video camera is really grainy, but if you see it in person, it's so highly detailed. It's not even funny.
Very nice.
So highly detailed and shiny. Beautiful. I mean, on camera, it looks like a brownish gold, but in person, it's actually a rose gold, a real rich rose gold. It's beautiful. It almost looks pink. It's just about pink in person. But the color on the camera colors don't do it justice, because on camera it looks like a brownish gold. So yeah, for those of you who are watching who might not be aware or familiar with it, this is the saber that Princess Leia had in The Rise of Skywalker when she was training to be a Jedi with her brother Luke. And my wife saw this thing and fell in love with it and said it was the most beautiful saber she's ever seen. And she's like, you have to get it. You have to get it. And I was able to find it through DX Sabers from China. They have a Facebook page. They do have a website. And they do all kinds of replicas. They do the Graflexes and the Kylo Rens and all that other stuff, along also with some of their own custom stuff. But I fell in love with this. I ordered it. It was like $100 empty, $99.
Wow, it's a good price.
Yeah, empty. My notification said I would do 15th, 14th, or 15th or something like that by the end of the week. But next thing you know, boom, it showed up at the front door today unexpectedly. So It was a good surprise. Christmas came early. My wife was happy.
Very nice.
This thing looks gorgeous in person, and I can't wait to set it up and finally put it on display for her, so she can show it off and stuff, and maybe convince her to wear it to a con one day or something like that, because people would love to see this in person. I'm telling you, if you see it, it's really eye-catching. It's really gorgeous. The pink really comes out of this thing in person once you see it. This camera, I'm telling you, because the lighting in here and all that stuff and the camera color makes it look kind of darkish gold or brownish. But when you see it in physically, it's like a pink. It's beautiful. The rose gold. They did a really good job in detail with this hilt. It's so shiny all around.
Is there a belt clip on there, Gabe?
No, they do have at the end of the pommel. They do have the little holes here for the D-ring.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess I have to ask her if that's what she wants, or if she's going to want one of these other.
Well, I would. I mean, if it was my hilt, if I was doing it, I would try to emulate what it was on screen.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. I don't remember. I mean, you only see that saber for a quick split second.
Exactly. I don't really remember
so
either.
I don't remember if there was even a belt clip on it in the movie itself.
Yeah.
Hey, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Tom, I'm so sorry to hear that about your dog, man. Did something go wrong with the surgery? Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that. I know. I didn't think he was old.
Sorry for your loss, bro.
He if it's who I'm thinking, if it's Maybe he has more than one dog. I don't know, but oh, it wasn't his Weimaraner. Okay, I didn't know you had more than one dog. Sorry for that loss, Tom.
Sucks, man. Sorry about that.
Our pets are family, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mine's real happy that I'm home. You know, that I'm home like every day. Like you're just feeding them burgers and treats and everything else.
Luke loves to eat, man.
Yeah, like Harris. When Harris comes over, you'll bring him Arby's, bring him burgers.
Harris spoils them more than you do.
I know.
Yeah, whenever we eat dinner over there, man, he sits with me until all my food's gone. Then he goes to you.
That's a true story.
He knows I share, man.
Yeah.
I love sharing with Luke. It's one of the highlights of being on the Starship Destiny.
Gabe, you were saying something about the Leia?
Oh, no. Just what Harris was saying, that, you know, I'd have to go back in the movie. Like Heshi said, I'd have to go back in the movie, see if they show at some point, maybe when Leia was about to bury them, that they show the one shot.
I think so.
Maybe we can see if there's a belt clip or a D-ring on her so I can, or whatever it is, so I can decide what to do. But I don't know. I'll ask her. It's going to be her thing.
Maybe that's the type of thing that deserves like a holster. And for the holster, you could build it and you could put like almost like a faux fur type of lining, like a Sherpa lining that it would
Make
just
it a nice one. Leather.
really
man. I see
not,
a nice
it
leather
would
one
never
for that.
scratch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying so when it goes in the holster.
Inside.
Yeah.
Like there's like Sherpa in the holster and outside it's leather.
Oh, that's a
Fur
nice
line.
Right. So like it would be, you know, fairly easy to maybe even find a leather type holster. And then maybe you could have her do some work to put some kind of lining in it for that nice finish.
Yeah.
Protect that nice finish.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome, man. That's the downside to having these shiny sabers, you know, is the fingerprints, but there's always ways around.
I don't remember what color was her saber in the movie. Was it blue? I think blue.
Blue.
Blue was blue. Okay.
Except my wife's Gigi's favorite color is white. She's obsessed with white. She's like, I don't care what you do in this, as far as electronics or internals are concerned. Just make sure it turns on white.
Yeah. Well, if we do a NeoPixel, it can.
We got to do a good battery so that when we run all the LEDs at once for white, it's strong enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she loves Ahsoka's colors white. She's just not a big fan of the Ahsoka's new katana style hilts. She fell in love with this hilt, but she prefers a white color instead of blue. But I told her with what's available out there nowadays, you could have all kinds of colors. You could have one font with one color, one font with another. You know how it is.
Sure.
So I told her that's the least of our worries. As long as it gets up and running, we'll be fine.
Oh my God, Tom! Why did you do that?
What do you do?
He sent a super chat with no words to it. Thanks so much, Tom.
Thank you, bro.
Dude. Thank you so much. That'll go towards Luke's treats.
Paybacks now, Tom. I did not send you that much. That's incredible. Thanks so much.
So what else is? Let's talk.
I want to I actually want to read an excerpt out of Darth Bane book because Harris had asked me a question earlier about the rule of two. Do you want to ask about that, Harris? Maybe while I mix myself a drink here.
I don't understand the rule of two because I mean, like even in the prequel movies, you know, like Sidious had Maul, and then he offed Maul, and then he got. I mean, was what's his name? The old guy. Yeah, I can't think of his name. My brain is going. Dooku. Was Dooku his apprentice all along, or did he become his apprentice after he after Maul got killed by Obi-Wan or pseudo killed, cut in half? You know, like I don't understand how all that works. And then even in the new movie, like my wife turned off cable because we're moving, and I've been watching the Skywalker movie over and over and over, playing catch up basically because it's only I've only had Disney recently, and they just released the movie, and it's the first I'm seeing the movie since it was in the theaters. I didn't buy the video, but you know, with the rule of two, you know, like even in the new movie, you had Sidious there hanging from that contraption, and then there's this whole world of all Sith people. But how is there the rule of 2? Is it per, like, every Sith is only allowed to have 1? Or I don't get it. Maybe
All right, well,
maybe you can answer that for me.
All right, there's actually, you know, maybe I should back up a minute and show you guys a different video first. I'm gonna, you know, maybe we can stop it and kind of comment along the way. It has something to do with this question in a way, because when I get to this question and I'm reading from the Expanded Universe book, I kind of want you guys to understand the context, because part of, Harris, what you're talking about is something that occurred in Rise of Skywalker, and that just may not be the best example of like these rules as they build upon each other, because they didn't really take all this stuff like totally into consideration when they were, you know, kind of making up those movies. Let me see if I can share this video here. I hope I can share the audio. There should be, okay, here we go. Where is this? Okay. Let me know if you guys can like actually hear this when it comes up. Jake the Snake says, "What's the situation, Captain?" Thanks for being here. The robed people in Rise of Skywalker are Sith cultists that worship all the Sith, embodying Sidious. Yeah, so there you go. I guess those particular people aren't all.
So they're not all Sith then, basically. They weren't all Sith, or were they dead Sith or spirits of dead long gone Sith?
I think that they were maybe supposed to be that. I didn't get the Rise of Skywalker like novelization to actually look that far into it. Let's see what this. Let's see what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers has to say. This is somebody who I follow. I really like his opinion, his videos about some of this stuff. That this deals with the Lucasfilm Story Group and how they deal with the canon. Now, the canon is what we're talking about when we're talking about all that stuff that came before or came during the Star Wars movies, Star Wars books, Star Wars comic books, you know, everything that just embodies the world, embodies a galaxy far, far away, all those rules that put in place to set the tone, right? So let's just see what is going on, what the news of the day is. This video just came out, I think, today or yesterday, okay?
What's up, Geeks and Gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we're...
Now, can you guys hear this?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay. He's going to talk about this article. So it's going to be kind of like we're going to be looking into a mirror here almost. We're like he's going to be talking about an article, and we're going to listen to him talk about this article, and we're going to talk about it. So it's going to be kind of this weird situation. But I want you guys to know this information.
We're going to talk about the Lucasfilm Story Group, because according to them, Star Wars is fake anyway, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, I'm pretty sure that Lucasfilm has been preaching about how important representation and diversity is in Star Wars, and how much it's going to mean for our society and our world and all of this other nonsense. And now, because they are basically twisting themselves up in a pretzel with their trash storytelling within the Disney trilogy, now suddenly that's fake anyway. Don't worry about it.
He's referring to a writer who just made a bunch of comments and tweets that basically say he doesn't care about the canon, all the stuff that came before.
You know, like, this is the nonsensical SJW logic we find ourselves in. On one hand, it's a space wizard movie with laser swords for children, but then those are the same people that'll tell you that you can't criticize the female character in it because it is an ist and an ism if you ever criticize these fictional characters. None of their arguments ever hold up. They are always contradicting themselves. So now we're at the point where the same company that has preached about the cultural significance of Star Wars and how important it is for representation and diversity, they're now saying it's fake anyway. What? Again, typical SJW, and that is Matt Martin of the Story Group within Star Wars at Lucasfilm. Matt Martin, missing words, has me blocked on Twitter because I have toxic opinions, meaning I disagree with him and call him out on his BS. Now, at the same token, the Disney Trilogy Defenders will say, Lucasfilm doesn't know Jeremy. Well, then why do they continue to block me on Twitter? Why do these story group people continue to block me on Twitter? Why is Pablo if they don't know who I am? It is really interesting. And Matt Martin's had me blocked for a long time now. But Star Wars story group writer Matt Martin, Star Wars canon is all fake anyway. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much for proving that you don't care about Star Wars.
So just to tell you, Harris, that the current sentiment over there at the Lucasfilm story group is they're not even as invested as us here.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, like
some of them, right? At least these comments.
Yeah, I mean, something I wanted to talk about in a little bit, because I've been binge watching Disney Channel. I also watched what they call that show, The Gallery. I don't know if you've seen that yet, where the 5 directors for The Mandalorian sit around the table.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
And what do they call that? They roundhouse it, on the table.
Yeah.
Like I find that I did like the 5 producers, the 5 director guys, but I think that, of course, with any industry or any business, there are people who, their heart and soul goes into it. And then there's people that are there just for a buck. And then there's people there that are just there for time and space. So, of course, these people aren't vested like we are. I mean, look, to me, nothing's better than a lightsaber. You know what I mean? So, of course, we're vested in that.
But they could have people like us. The reason why these other people are selected, there are reasons why. It's not just like a random pool. And you're like, well, yeah, well, some people like it and some people don't. No, like they don't want to pay
people like us. They don't want to pay people like us.
We're cheaper. We're cheaper than these.
I would say we're cheaper, but in their opinion, if Lucasfilms came to you or I or Gabe, man, I mean, we would be like, I want $1 million a week. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, they don't even have to come to us.
Yes.
What we're going to get to here soon with this Darth Bane book is that they already had stuff on the table that was fantastic.
They're not sharing that. I mean, they're not sharing that in any of the content. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's kind of why you've come to me and asked about the rule of 2, because you didn't quite understand it. I mean, they could have made a whole series instead of making Rebels. They could have made like Rule of 2. Imagine that. Sure. It would have been an incredible anime of all these bad guys 1,000 years ago.
Listen, when George Lucas made the first Star Wars in 75, 76, did he really see? I mean, I don't think he foresaw the world that it was going to become. I mean, he made a movie figuring, all right, if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. But, I mean, that's just human nature, But fill us in on the little tidbits. And yes, I mean, there's tons of content now. We can go deep into the Jedi. You can go deep into the Sith. You could go deep into the smugglers' lives, like what's what with guys like Han Solo,
Listen to how, like how you just said, we can go that deep, but
they're not giving it to us.
Don't want to, and they don't even want to know about it. Listen to what they comment about.
Star Wars story group member Matt Martin recently declared that fans can pick and choose what is canon in Star Wars because it's all fake anyway. As reported by Disney Star Wars is Done, Martin's most recent comments came after a fan asked him to clarify his previous comments regarding Star Wars canon. Martin has discussed Star Wars canon in length. Back in April, he responded to a fan was talking about the OG version of the Clone Wars and canon. He wrote, "I'm of the mindset that you can consider anything you want canon if it makes you happy. Your truth. Your truth." That's what Matt Martin believes. He's one of those people that's talking about, tell them your truth. Tell them your journey. Speak your truth. That's what Matt Martin thinks. He added, "For the most part, it still works, but there are some contradictions with other storytelling if you really care." I don't know how long I can do the soy voice, by the way. And there's Matt. Let's see. Still blocked. I am still blocked by Matt Martin. Matt Martin shared an article from IO9 which declared that our fascination with canon is killing the way we value stories. I remember talking about this article as well.
Okay, so here's where it gets to the bad part, you guys. This is where it gets dangerous.
And he says, "Yes, everyone should read this. It's a much more articulate way of discussing something I've often tried to crunch down into 280 characters. It's also why I choose not to or give frustratingly vague answers to many questions thrown my way here on Twitter.
I can't keep this voice up. My God. In the article, James Whitbrook writes, "This craving for canon above all else is a toxic attitude,
Not just to the way we talk about pieces of media from a critical perspective, but in fan circles as well."
Imagine thinking that anything in like geek world, Star Wars, or comic books is toxic. Like, I grew up a sports fan, and I'm still a sports fan to this day. And the discussions I had growing up, all the way to the age I'm at now, the discussions I had with other sports fans, they would make these dudes literally cry and run for their lives. If they think that the discussions we have within Star Wars are toxic, my goodness, you would never, ever come within miles of our discussions about sports. And those weren't toxic either. Those were grown men having grown men conversations about sports. We talk shit. We give each other hell. It's what we do.
So, they don't really want to pay attention to all the stuff that came before, Harris. So it kind of stinks in that respect, that like they don't want to really honor this stuff. Like when someone makes a rule, like the rule of two.
The rule of two was old canon. Am I right on that?
Right. So that's like expanded universe stuff.
Gotcha.
And so I'm not totally sure, like with this type of attitude, that seems to be part of who's inside there. We're not really sure what they will hold on to and or even what they're aware of, and versus like what they will hold on to versus like what they want to just abolish and create as new, as something new for going forward. A lot of this stuff so far, like for instance, the character of Darth Bane, the only familiarization you might have with Darth Bane is because in one of the Clone Wars episodes, a Darth Bane apparition appeared to Yoda, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was almost like a genie out of the bottle type of scene, as far as I recall. But that, at least to the way Darth Bane was described in a lot of these books and comic books, that's not really how Darth Bane looked. Let me show you what I think Darth Bane looked like. I actually just drew a picture of Darth Bane, and I'll show you, because it was kind of funny when you asked today, like what about Darth Bane. I was like, oh, I have a picture I drew of Darth Bane, so I'll pull that up while I talk about this too. So this is a scene where like you have Darth Bane right here, and see if I could point to him for you guys. I don't know if my mouse is like visible here. So you have Darth Bane back here. He's got the red lightsaber in the background. His apprentice is Darth Zana, who he basically acquires this apprentice at the end of the first book. And the part that I want to talk to you about is actually in the second book. So I think this is a scene from the second book, if I recall correctly. This is like she's grown up. She was like a child in the first book. She's grown up at a certain level. Maybe she's 19 or 20, and she's like a Sith sorceress. So instead of being really excellent at like being a warrior and fighting with her lightsabers, she's got one of these like Darth Maul style staffs. She does these spells to people. That's how she like, really messes with your mind. Or it's even real, I think, at some points, like where these tentacles come out. If she casts these certain spells, these tentacles will come out and kind of burn you and grab you like snakes, like hot snakes, or some kind of magic that she could formulate. Darth Bane even tells her at a bunch of points, like, listen, I can't even teach you properly for what you need to know, because I'm not the type of sorcerer that like you would learn great things from. I'm more of a warrior. So you'd have to do your own, investigation, get your own like Sith book somehow, or holocrons, and start learning what the secrets of like sorcery are and all that dark magic stuff, because he really didn't have, he had a little bit of knowledge, but not where, you know, he's like, your potential could be so crazy if you really got all the proper Sith techniques down, you know? So this is like a scene from the book where they're actually battling a bunch of Jedi that came to intercept them and to try to take them out. And obviously, if you take out the Sith, the two Sith, when there's the rule of two in play, you would actually take out the entire Sith like organization, right? Because there's a rule of two that just says one's going to crave the power and one is going to have the power. So Darth Bane would be the one that, you know, has all the, and then like his apprentice would have to crave it until that certain point where she or he could overcome him as the master and take the mantle of Dark Lord of the Sith, and then going out and find their own apprentice. When you were talking about
the main thing I'm not understanding, the rule of two entails the actual Sith person and their apprentice, but there are other Sith in the universe. Am I correct?
There are
That's
other,
what I wasn't
other
understanding.
Sith at the time of when?
Anytime, like once that rule of two was created, there's not just one Sith and one apprentice in the whole galaxy, is there? There's multiple Sith. Like on this planet, there might be a Sith and he has one apprentice. Then over here, there might be another Sith. He has one apprentice. So that's two there and two there. We're not talking the whole universe, the whole galaxy.
Yeah, well, like
Sith, right?
That actually was the idea. So Darth Bane had the idea of just having two Sith like in the entire galaxy. Now there was like exceptions to the rule. So there was about the time when like Luke Skywalker was like 50 or 55 years old in the expanded universe, back before Disney said that wasn't canon anymore. That world of the expanded universe, there was actually a hidden Sith world that nobody knew about. And what the storyline was that this Sith world finally got the opportunity, like they had lost the opportunity for space travel for whatever reason. There was like a historical reason. And then they finally regained the opportunity for the space travel, got off planet and became a new threat because they were living like the old Sith, like before Darth Bane. Like there was like, let's say a ship crash lands full of Sith people. They don't have a ship anymore because their ship crash landed. So they just overtook that planet with their dominant nature and ruled as Sith and trained people who were force sensitive on that planet and made them follow the ways of the Sith. But all that happened over hundreds of years, that their technology wasn't allowing them, because they had crash landed and their ship was lost. Their technology on that planet they landed on wasn't capable of this outer planetary flight. So they had to kind of wait. And I think eventually, like hundreds of years later, either they gained the technology or another ship had come to be able to transport them, or they had somehow summoned another Sith. I forget how it happened. They got off planet though, and they became a threat to Luke Skywalker. But that was the exception to the rule. Like that old style Sith was long time abolished by this Darth Bane rule of two. So, you know, he had said from this point forward, this is basically in the first Darth Bane book, which is called Path of Destruction by Drew Karpyshyn. Anybody that doesn't or hasn't read that one yet, hasn't listened to it, Harris, that's going to be a good one. Next time you're over, I actually want to start with that one because it's all about a bad guy. We could listen to the audio book. It's all about a bad guy. Could you imagine to listen to that? Or it's like, and you haven't yet. I didn't listen the first time, I read it. So to listen to it again will be great, to hear the story of this Sith and how he comes to power. It's almost like the opposite of Luke Skywalker, right? So it's like, yeah. So it's like, and he goes to the Sith Academy. Like back in the day, there's a Sith Academy, like a university. He shows up there, he trains and everything, eventually realizing that things, for the Sith to move forward, he feels that they're doing it wrong. like he starts to see, but it takes years, dude. It takes years. Like he has to go through the school, all this stuff. He's the lowliest person. For a while, they don't even like him. He's like considered like not even that powerful. But eventually he comes into his own stride. He understands his own abilities better. He starts to study more. It really shows like in the book, actually, like just the power of like knowledge, reading books and stuff. Because he spends a lot of time at the library, like being a nerd, just reading all this stuff, trying to find the holocrons, trying to like decide like which planet should he visit that might have a Sith holocron that he read about in this library book 10 years ago, you know. And he has all these machinations that take like 10 or 15 years to come into play. But in the meantime, he feels like everything that the Sith are doing is wrong as far as these groups. Like they have almost like a hierarchy and like almost like a monarchy. They've got like a king, almost like a supreme Sith ruler, and then a bunch of other levels. And then they got dudes running the academy. And then they got like swordsmen who are like the Sith quartermasters. And, you know, they're supposed to be the best. Now, one of the fights between him and the Sith swordmaster who taught him how to wield like a lightsaber in the first place was an epic battle. I think that's in the first book. It's so epic because he eventually decides to go against them, you know, and he comes up with a plan. I won't give away what all goes down in that first book if you haven't read it yet. But he comes up with a plan to basically exterminate like everybody at once. It's unbelievable. And it's such a risk because it's going to leave just him. And with just him, it's going to be, you know, everyone else would have said it would have been harder to like let the Sith go on with just like one dude. But somebody needs
to tell him it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top, man.
So I found like a part in this book that I think, you know, it's more like in the first book he goes along with all the he comes up with all the thoughts that lead him to that rule of two idea. That first book is called The Path of Destruction. The second book is called The Rule of Two. So he's kind of really setting it down in stone in this second book as far as like what has to be done. He explains to his apprentice, like, when you're ready, you're going to have to overtake me. You're going to have to attack me. If you fail, I will just have to it'll be unfortunate because I'll have to go find somebody else. It'll be really sucky, but we need the idea of it, Harris, the whole idea of it. I don't know if you understand the idea of the rule of two is just to have the most powerful person ruling the Sith. Because Darth Bane felt like let's say you had this like supreme Sith ruler dude back in when Darth Bane was growing up, had this supreme ruler of the Sith, and maybe you had 300 Sith people, right? Sith lords or whatever underneath him. Now it'd be hard to tell who was like the strongest out of those because they wouldn't, although the Sith would like fight obviously more than scheme, more than like any of the Jedi would obviously, and challenge each other probably sometimes. It was more into like schemes, like Godfather 2 type stuff, you know, and all that, trying to do their schemes. And that wasn't really propelling the strongest and best forward in Darth Bane's opinion. So that's why he didn't really like that. When he thought that there would be two Sith, one to have the power and one to crave for it, he knew that if that apprentice couldn't overtake the master, then the master had to go find someone who potentially could, and it would just always leave the strongest at the top for the right time. So when Palpatine came along, he was the right one at the right time to do the plan to its fullest, which is the plan was always like take over the galaxy to destroy the Jedi. And Palpatine did it. Because like Darth Bane was like, we got to destroy the Jedi. And by doing it this way, where we're like 300 of us versus 2,000 of them, you know, it's never going to play out in like this numbers game. We're never going to win because we're not unified. We're all scheming to undermine each other. Just
Right.
like any bad guy situation, right? Like in He-Man or any bad guy situation, it's just like the bad guys are always like awful schemers. That's kind of why they don't really win.
Right.
So he realized that. Darth Bane realized that.
Okay.
Now, let me read you guys something from this book here. Well, first of all, before I start this passage, either you guys want to like say anything about this whole stuff? Because I've been talking for a while.
No,
about the Rule
I'm
of Two.
following along. It's all good. I'm listening to you. I'm following along and I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm listening too.
So Bane is this is actually a really cool part. Like I won't give away what happens at the end of this section of the book. This is chapter 7 in the second book, Rule of Two. This is a really awesome scenario that you won't be able to imagine where it goes from the parts that I read. But this is just a part of the Rule of Two, him kind of thinking about the Rule of Two, and these apparitions come to him when he's alone. And they're of the people, like I told you in the first book, he had found a way to either kill him himself or extinguish all the Sith himself. So that just leaves him and this little girl that he's training as the next Sith Lord, Sith sorceress. Her name is Darth Zana. He names her Darth Zana, early on. She's the one in this picture here. So Darth Bane is like traveling in this, I think he's in a spaceship or something like that. And he's having these visions of the people who he killed, these old Sith leaders. First one he was kind of talking with, if you could say that, this ghostly apparition was Lord Khan. Lord Khan was the main dude. He was like, the Donald Trump of all the Sith people. He was like the president of all the Sith people. And this passage goes on like this. Khan had disappeared toward the end of the first day of his journey, only to be replaced by an even worse visitation. It wasn't the founder of the Brotherhood of Darkness that hovered beside him now, but Cordis, the former head of the Sith Academy on Korriban. Pale and semi-translucent, the figure was otherwise an almost perfect replica of what the Sith Lord had looked like at the time of their final meeting, when Bane had killed him. Tall and gaunt, Cordis had skeletal features that seemed more at home on a spirit than ever had on a being of flesh and blood. Unlike Khan, however, Cordis actually spoke to him, spewing forth an endless litany of blame, denouncing everything Bane had accomplished. "You betrayed us," the Phantom said, extending a long, thin finger topped with a talon-like nail. Bane didn't need to look at it to know that the finger would be adorned with the heavy, bejeweled rings Cordis had worn in life. "You destroyed the Brotherhood. You brought victory to the Jedi, and now you flee the scene like a craven thief in the night." "I'm not a coward," Bane thought. There was no point in voicing the words aloud. The vision was all in his mind. Speaking with it would only be a sign that his mental condition was further deteriorating. "I did what had to be done. The Brotherhood was an abomination. They had to be destroyed. The Brotherhood had knowledge of the dark side, wisdom that is lost forever because of you." Bane was growing weary of all the too familiar refrain. He had this conversation with himself before he decided to destroy Khan and his followers. And now he was reliving it again and again through the delusions of his wounded mind. He had refused to allow any doubts or uncertainties to weaken his resolve. He had done what was necessary. The Brotherhood had lost its way. They had fallen from the true path of the dark side. All the study and training Cordis put prospective students through at the academy was worthless. And then the apparition goes on to say, "If that was true," answering his unspoken arguments, "then how do you explain your current mission? Your claim to reject my teachings? Yet I was the one who discovered the location of Freed Nan's lost tomb." He's in search of like a holocron. "You didn't discover anything. You're just a hallucination. And Cordis may have stumbled on this information, but he didn't know what to do with it. A true Sith Master would have left Rusan to seek out Nad's tomb. Instead, he decided to stay and help Khan play army with the Jedi." "Excuses and justifications," the spirit replied. "Khan was a warrior, but you would rather hide from your enemies than fight them. So the reason why Bane kind of let it seem to all the Jedi, he let it appear that all the Sith died. That all the Sith died. And the reason for that was because he wanted them to get under this sense of a false security, false peace. As like rumors started to circulate, maybe potentially at some point of like some kind of darkness, maybe 150 years later when Bane was long gone, through one of his apprentices' actions, or just he didn't know how long it was going to take for this idea of his to come to fruition. Now, he didn't know if it was going to be him. I don't think he really thought it was going to be him, but he thought it was going to be someone in the future. He didn't know how many generations of Sith it was going to take, but he knew that by doing the rule of two, they would come out constantly coming out with the stronger and the stronger and the stronger and the stronger and the stronger until they eventually got to Palpatine, who, if you want to know about what happened with Palpatine in regards to episode 1 and how he basically walked into episode 1 in the state that he walked into episode 1 as the not only as part of the Senate, but as someone who was going to step in to be the role of the Chancellor. The book Plagueis is incredible for that, you guys. Like, Harris, if we get finished with the Darth Bane trilogy, we'll listen to Plagueis, because it's basically the fruition of all of Darth Bane's plans come in Plagueis. And it's funny because, the arrogance of all these Sith Lords, like, they think that, a lot of them think that it's them. Like, the one who Darth Bane made the rule of 2 for is for them. And so they all have a plan that could, be put into place to take over the galaxy. And it's just whether or not that's going to actually happen, for Darth Sidious, it was so many years in the making. It really comes to show it in that book Plagueis, because Plagueis is his master, and Darth Sidious's master, and it shows in that book how he kind of used a lot of the stuff that Plagueis was planning, and once he got rid of Plagueis, he was able to utilize all that stuff that Plagueis was planning for his own plan, and actually speed things up. Instead of waiting for the next guy, Palpatine was like, I'll be that guy. And he actually made it happen.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just there was a lot of the whole Sith story I just wasn't following along with. You brought some light to it, and I'm satisfied with that answer, and I'm looking forward to listening to some of those audiobooks with you.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
What did Steve said before? I don't disagree with that guy in regards to canon. Oh, he must be talking about Jeremy, or maybe he's talking about the writer. Clearly, the storyline is a spider of movies, comics, and third-party books. Canon is what you make it, not what Disney dictates. Yeah, for sure. I mean, but you just can't have like everybody running wild, especially when they work for that company. Like, there has to be a certain investment, because that's why, it's real to us. Like Jeremy goes on to say in that video, that it's real to us, and that's why it matters to be true to the story.
I feel that.
That's why it really does matter.
Yeah, I mean, real fans want consistency. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't be all over the place here and there because, let's just wipe the slate clean and make up some crap. No, like all this other stuff matters. Everything matters because there's a reason why you're here now with these new ideas. Something led to these characters. Something led to this new idea. So why erase the past when that's all part of it? Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Right. That's
like you would have never known what the heck the Graflex was, so why are you trying to wipe it off? Or well, you never know, you wouldn't know what this is or that is, whatever canon part of the story you want to think about. But you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, for them to try to do that crap is kind of stupid, man.
Yeah, because like unless you put somebody in there that like really, really cares, which there really should be, because to let forth those little tidbits, like what the old authors used to do, the way I kind of felt it when I was reading their books was they would let loose some tidbits. And what they were usually due to is because of some talent of the author or some kind of skill of the author. Like back in the back of the book, when you can read about the author, usually in that little panel that's like on the part of the hardcover or on the inside, one of the inside last pages, like about the author. Let's say somebody is like a fencer, and they're also the author. You know, like their hobby is like fencing. You could pretty much expect, right, that the sword fights in like the book should be incredible or should be really well described, because the the person's a fencer, so we should really get an insight into sword play here, things like that. And usually that would be the case. Like sometimes when there was somebody who's like a martial artist, you would get these these great descriptions of how they would move, or the martial art that the person, Jedi, bad guy, whoever they were, maybe they were doing flips. It was really well described. You kind of got an insight. But when the author doesn't care, that's kind of something to really, really be worried about, because then we really can't glean anything like really awesome from it. Like, let's say, Harris was going to write a book. He would take his like lightsaber knowledge into there, and he would maybe place some little tidbits and little indicators of his knowledge of lightsabers just through the storytelling, through the character's interpretation of the weapon itself, how the weapon works maybe, or the interior operation of the weapon, or maybe taking the weapon apart like in the book. Those are always special moments for me, when like there was a book that actually came out partially in the old canon and in the new canon at the same time, because it's called Heir to the Jedi. It was a book that was written before Disney bought Star Wars, but then updated a little bit and released afterwards, just taking into some, I guess, certain things into consideration that I guess were changed for the book. But there was a lot of great parts in the book, especially in regards to lightsabers. Like there's one part where Luke finds a lightsaber, and he actually, this is a time for Luke when he's in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So he's really not a Jedi at all. He's just got these innate Force talents, and he really doesn't know too much about being a Jedi. It's not like him in between Empire and Return of the Jedi, where he's much more of a learned. He's already seen Yoda. But before he's seen Yoda, he finds a lightsaber, and he actually tries to take it apart. Like, it works. I think it had worked, and he was like, you know what? If I'm going to try to take something apart, I better just try to take apart the spare one, because it really won't matter if I break it. And then he actually does break it. Like he's not skilled enough to fully take it apart. But there was a lot of
myself.
There was a lot of cool parts in there of just reading that you could tell, like, this person cares about just the inner workings of, whoever the author was on that book, I don't recall, but the inner workings of just something that we hold close to our heart, the lightsaber. And we would have hoped that whatever details were in that book were connected, or at least try to carry them, try to connect them, try to not make any lies out of yourself when you think about what came before, which is kind of what Disney did, like we've talked about before, when we talk about the lightsaber crystals and how they changed the way the crystals worked in the new stuff.
Right.
Instead of having it the way we knew it, where you find a crystal, or the crystal's located and maybe it calls to you, or it's part of your soul, or it's connected to you in some way. They changed it where now you bleed a crystal if you're a bad guy, or you imbue the crystal with your energy if you're a good guy.
Right.
I don't know if did I share the audio on that one?
We can hear it, but it's low.
No, I heard everything. Oh, I didn't hear that last one. No.
And what was that other? You said there was a video also about that Disney put out.
Yeah, I want to show you guys this lightsaber video.
I want to see
Let me
that.
pull that up. Where is my window?
Disney put it out?
Video.
Yeah, Disney put it out, and I wasn't aware of that.
This looked like it was going to be really cool. Let's see. Lightsabers.
That's all I want to see is lightsabers. There it is.
Oh, you know what? I think I did it wrong again. I don't think I shared the right thing. Share audio, lightsabers, science, and Star Wars. This just came out today. This is all about Star Wars. Lightsabers. So this should be really, really interesting for us to look at. This should be pretty bugged out for people who love lightsabers. Let's see. Let's see what happens here.
On this week's episode of Science and Star Wars, may the Force be with you, Taylor Gray. Lightsabers. Where we explore how close real-world science has come to our favorite Star Wars technology. I'm Anthony Carboni, and joining me on the show is my friend here.
Hello, my name is Watson.
And today, we're talking about lightsabers. As Obi-Wan described them,
elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
And by civilized, Obi-Wan meant mess some
By civilized, he meant civilized sabers.
stuff up real bad.
Thinking the same thing.
Watson, what can you tell us about lightsabers?
After reading every Star Wars film script and the StarWars.com databank, I have learned the lightsaber is a complex instrument consisting of...
See, I wonder how many things in this video are going to be like, like wrong to us or right to us as far as, you know, is it going to be the new idea of, are they going to say like, oh, you got to bleed your crystal if you're a bad guy. Your crystal's clear until it senses your heart, and then it's going to turn yellow.
I think I've seen something like this before. I don't know if this guy looks familiar to me. I think I've seen some of his videos before.
Maybe he's somebody that does these videos on here. No, they said before that there was
This video was posted
of
2017. This is something older.
Oh, I guess it's older, but I just, you know, I guess they're just sending it out today for just for shits and giggles on an email, but I don't know. I never seen it before.
The pommel cap, hand grip, control module, main hilt, focusing lens, and blade emitter.
So which lightsaber is this, you guys?
Obi's.
Obi-Wan's. Yeah.
With an energy core powered by a kyber crystal.
Kyber crystals actually power both lightsabers and the Death Star. It's what makes them different from something like a blaster. The closest thing we have in the real world to a lightsaber right now is plasma. And in order to achieve that, you'll need a plasma arc welder.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, and did we look at that one last time? That was a real flame saber. Did you guys see that? Or was that on Instagram, Gabe? Did you see that?
You mean the guy that made like the real like 3,000 degree lightsaber guy? That one?
Like we'd watched one on here that was a laser lightsaber. I saw this after that. This was literally, it uses lighter fluid. This looks bad. Like this looks bad. Did you guys see that?
Too. Yeah, I've seen that one too. Yes.
That looks terrible. You got. I mean, terribly dangerous.
Yeah, it's just a fire coming out of the hilt.
I like what Steve says here. I think KOTOR and KOTOR 2 are canon. I do not think episode 7, 8, and 9 are canon. Armando is in the chat. Good evening, fellas. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Yeah,
What's
we
up,
hope
Mondo?
you are too.
What up, brother?
If I'm not mistaken, Armando is down in Florida. Rich Angelo, what's up, guys? Sorry I'm late. No big deal, buddy. No big deal.
Welcome.
Jesse Hunter is here. He says, rule of 2 means only 2 in the galaxy, Harris. There may have been other Sith, the dark side Force users, but Bane Sith would not consider them Sith. Yeah, there was an interesting character in these Darth Bane novels, Harris, that I thought, like, I think you're supposed to mean to hate him. Like, he's meant to be hated, but I kind of liked him. He was like an arrogant prick of a former Jedi named Set Hearth. And he had like silver long hair, and he's very vain, and he acquired like money through like, you know, Force manipulation and dark side manipulation and stuff like that through manipulating people. And he built like a mansion, and he lives at the mansion, and he lives kind of like a playboy, and he has a silver lightsaber, and he's pretty good. Like, I think he must have left the Jedi as like a Padawan or something. I forget his story, but at one point Darth Zana, who's the apprentice of Darth Bane there, that woman there in the photo I showed you, she comes in contact with him. And so he is, you know, I would say his level is like maybe like Anakin Attack of the Clones level.
Okay.
Like pretty good, right? Like pretty good. I would say like he's pretty good, but then he's not like, you know, as good as like Anakin later, or like, you know, he never gets past that level. He's like that level.
Gotcha.
And like he would be somebody who, like Jesse's saying, is like utilizes the dark side, but he's not part of the Sith. Like even though Darth Zana meets up with them and stuff like that, she even considers at one point like, this is like the first person I've met up with, I think, that like I could potentially make them into my apprentice. Like once I, you know, kick Darth Bane's ass and now I need an apprentice, who am I going to pick? Maybe I should keep an eye on this like little jerk. So she kind of keeps an eye on him and stuff like that, but she kind of realizes, she's like, he ain't going anywhere. Like, you know, like his potential sucks. You know, like he's like, so there's like a bunch of people out there that are like, you know, maybe they're like an in-betweener, like someone that kind of like learned the Force a little bit, like a Maz Kanata, somebody, or but these Sith people are probably like, I don't want to go after them because they're like stupid, or like, or you know, they aren't like, they don't have that potential that we're looking for to be the most powerful Sith. Like we need the most powerful people to do this. Otherwise it's not going to work. Like we're not looking for an army of people. And to kind of, that's kind of an answer to your other question about like, when did Dooku come into the picture? Like wasn't, you know, Maul there, and then, you know, Maul got struck down. So it's almost like for Darth Sidious had people in play before. Like he always has people kind of there in waiting. You know, he had like Mara Jade. He had a bunch of Emperor's hands who were like 15-year-old kids who were like Force sensitive. He's like, well, maybe if one of them grows up to be something strong, maybe they can challenge Lord Vader. You know, he's open to the idea of somebody stepping into this and actually being better than Lord Vader. Like Darth Sidious is kind of always open to that idea, because it's obvious when like Luke comes into the picture, he's like, yo, you kill your dad and now you're my right hand man right here. You know, he's like just totally open to replacing Vader. He doesn't care, right? Oh yeah, I actually forgot to say that. Jesse Hunter says my art has Bane with the Orbalisk armor. That was one thing I forgot to explain to Harris, which is kind of one of the reasons why he can face off against like multiple Jedi at a time in my drawing there and in these books, is because he has this parasite all over his body, which is like, they're like hard seashells that are called Orbalisks, and they're living creatures that like enhance his dark side Force abilities, but he can't really take them off, because if he takes them off, they'll rip them off his skin and they'll kill him. I forgot if they like leave a poison behind, or if just somehow.
So he lives with that 24/7.
He lives with that 24/7. As they grow and more over him, he starts to wonder like, what happens? Are they going to grow over my eyeballs? I won't be able to see. Like he starts to get concerned when they really, over the next year that he's wearing them, they start to invade. I think maybe it's his chest first or his hand. I forget where they get to first, but they get to be so encroaching. He's afraid, am I going to be able to breathe when those Orbalisks come on me fully, or am I going to be able to, you know, not see anymore? So then he starts to consider, like, although they are enhancing my strength and they're kind of resistant to lightsabers, like when a lightsaber hits them, it kind of bounces off the Orbalisks. So he's like, shit, this is kind of like my partner now. You know, I'm good with this Orbalisk business. But then he starts to get a little concerned with it, that he does want to remove it after a while. So there does come a time where he's like, I need to remove this stuff.
Okay.
But for that fight, it works great, because he's up against like 5 Jedi or something like that, and they're like, wait, we can't, like we hit him a couple times and nothing happened, and it's because only his clothes are getting torn up, you know.
It's because you got that armor on.
Yeah, but it's like a living armor. Rule of 2 prevented infighting. Multiple Sith couldn't team up and kill the strongest and wisest. Yeah, that's a great point, because like before you could get a few people together and gang up on somebody or just come up with like some weaselly plan, whereas in the rule of 2 you really had to be better than your master. You really had to overtake him completely 100%. Andrea Tomasini, hi guys, what's going on, buddy?
Yo, yo.
All the way from Italy. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here.
What time is it in Italy?
I'm going to guess it is, let's see, like if it's like 8 hours from now, it's the middle of the night, right? If it's 8 hours from now, what does that make it? Like
3:15 in the morning over there right now.
Nice. Thank you for joining us in the middle of the night.
I know, right?
But still, lightsabers aren't real. We would also
See, even this guy's saying this shit's fake.
need. But that doesn't mean all hope is lost. No! In fact, at the National Ignition Facility in Livermore, California, there is a laser that can produce temperatures close to the center of the sun.
I guess that's that huge business behind them is what they're calling a lightsaber.
It provides about 100.
What's that? That's their hilt. Yeah, like they need some kind of Pacific Rim robotic giant to wield this thing.
Times
the
power of the
entire. Fit it inside of the hilt.
Those real lasers that we saw the other day could do it. We could put them in a hilt, right?
Yeah.
That was sick. Oh, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Entire electrical grid of the world, and it all concentrates that in a tiny little spot for
that was like the Death Star laser, the way that charged
billions
up.
of a second, creating incredible temperatures and pressures, which enables us to study high energy density physics that we use to bring us future.
I don't know. I think that's all sounds too complicated. Like, isn't usually the good science answer is to make it simpler?
Right.
This seems really complicated.
Solutions to the
Well, I mean, it's all
problem.
new technology they're experimenting with, so I think it'll still be years before, like anything else. Remember the first supercomputer? That thing was like a big, massive. You know what I'm trying to say?
It was a warehouse full of.
It was a warehouse to get 1 little megabyte of information was like massive. Now it's like, you know. So I think it's the same thing with this. This is all still fairly new in this era, and it'll be years ahead before they can really hone the technology to shrink it and all that stuff, you know.
I think it could be that
I'll see it
situation
in my lifetime.
Well, I mean, it could be that situation where, yeah, like maybe it's like a computer where this just has to shrink. But I kind of also think that like it's just not going to be this answer. But I don't know. Let's continue and see what he's saying.
Of the world.
And at IBM Research Zurich, they're floating plasma in the air.
What's very intense with our laser is that we can focus this whole energy within 150 femtoseconds. So this is less than a millionth of a second. And this is what makes these beams then very bright and very intense. And then we can create so-called quantum fluid. And with this quantum fluid, we can study this quantum mechanical applications for future computing.
Now, surprisingly, if you call the lab in Zurich and request to use their very expensive laser, but don't tell them why, they tell you no.
I wonder why.
Taylor, you are Ezra Bridger on Rebels. You have a light.
Love the way that green lightsaber looked in Rebels. That Ezra had, that second one?
Yeah.
I've had 2. Right now, I've got
That's
a green.
his second one.
Green is good. Watson, what color lightsaber would I have?
Based on my analysis of Star Wars materials and cross-referencing
You would have no lightsaber. You're garbage. You're a garbage man in
the
Star
social
Wars
media
world.
handle for personality insights, your lightsaber color would be green.
Oh,
Look at that.
twinsies! In the real world, lightsabers come in one color. Blinding, white, hot. What we're gonna do is make a thermic lance. So we've got a carbon steel tube here. We have some steel wool and a tank of oxygen. We're gonna run oxygen through this tube and then use the steel wool as an igniter.
There's iron flex in this.
See, I don't know. It's like this isn't the type of thing you would use in your girlfriend's bedroom. Whereas like Anakin, you know, ran in there with his lightsaber and you know slapped up some like worms.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in there with like a 5,000 degree like heated rod. You're gonna drop it on her bed. Everything's gonna get on fire.
Steel wool. And when oxygen hits it, you get iron oxide. That is oxidation.
Yes! it creates a lot of energy in the form of heat, which means we are going to create
I hope we don't get like flagged for this video because this isn't even that good of a video.
a 2,000 degrees Celsius plasma blade. Okay, now this.
Oh my God, these people don't even have, all they have on is overalls? Jesus, there's not even any goggles.
Nah, they're not gonna turn it on though. They'll when they get ready to turn it on, they'll have all their gear on.
I was gonna say they're like Harris. They don't want any safety goggles or anything.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Yeah.
What's the hottest thing that you both have ever experienced?
Well, I had
I have a reason that I'm asking you.
I have a pocket pencil laser torch by a company called Blazer.
Okay.
You guys know what that is? It's a
I've
little
seen
toy.
The pocket lasers.
No, this is
and
a pocket
you can pop
pencil.
balloons and stuff, right?
Oh, okay. No, well, this is a pocket pencil torch, which means that it's full of butane. It's like a lighter.
Okay.
And it's got like a 1-inch blue flame.
That has a flame coming.
Yeah.
All right. So what temperature do you think that flame is?
That one said, I think it said it was like, didn't it say on it? It was like either 2,800 degrees or 3,000. It was something crazy. Whatever it said, maybe 1,800 degrees. I don't know. It said it was a crazy temperature on that.
Gabe, ever touched anything that hot? Ever been around anything hot?
Nah.
All right. So I'm going to give you guys a little experience that I had. A few years back, you guys know I took a class in making glass. Like glass blowing, okay?
Yeah.
And the oven that heats the glass is run by oxygen and propane, and it's hot. When you open up the oven to grab the glass, it's got an orange glow to it that you have to wear special glasses because it's so bright, it'll burn your retinas, and it also does give off a radiation. That was 2,200 degrees. That's the hottest thing that I've ever experienced. And I'm going to tell you, if I'm holding a hilt here and the blade to the top of that hilt is over 2,000 degrees, I don't know how you would hold it in real life.
Yeah, see, Harris, I thought you were going to say the hottest thing you ever experienced was your prom date, 84.
That's the second hottest thing.
This is a room to create plasma. We got Alan Pan with us. You're going to be helping.
The point I'm getting at, if you got within 1.5 feet of this thing, you felt the heat.
Oh yeah, well even
of it,
like
even
when we're standing in front of our like backyard, that chimney thing we got in the backyard, yeah, like or that I forget what is it called, the chimney? Fire pit. We you know you feel the heat when just the light is facing you. It's pretty amazing. Like fire is amazing that way. That's why they use it for warmth.
Putting your hand within 2 inches of those burning coals and embers that are hot. That's hot, man. That's hot.
Always wear safety glasses in the shop. See, I think, well, if you wear those, Harris, you always got your glasses on. I guess that's good enough, but safety glasses are just so
You
important.
always, like, what I learned in that glass school, I learned that immense heat gives off radiation. It's bad for your eyes, too. And that's why we had to wear special glasses, not just for protection, but against the radiation coming into your eyes, like a laser hitting your eyes, so to speak.
A laser is relentless.
It knows no
destroyed, it'll be civil war without end.
Us build some of our experiments for the show, and you made a thermic lance lightsaber.
They got it in a Darth Vader hilt. They have it in a Darth. He still doesn't have safety goggles on.
Before.
Yeah, I did, but mine was smaller and hip mounted. It looks like yours is going to be a lot more powerful.
Dude, it feels legit. It looks legit. Let's see what it does.
All right, let's light this candle. I'm going to ignite our steel wool. We're going to start the oxygen flowing through that.
Woo! Let's do it.
So what we have is a 100-pound double pane steel.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to try to cut through this thing. I don't remember ever seeing this video. I didn't know this video was like 2 or 3 years old. I never saw this.
Yeah, we're through.
Oh.
Wait, what? It's not glowing at all? It's literally just hot? Like the sword itself's not glowing.
Oh, Taylor, it looks so rad.
No, that's not a lightsaber. A lightsaber, you idiots! Light. Light. It's not a heat saber, you idiots. Oh my god! Like this
No,
video.
they're just trying to show you the closest they've gotten, scientifically speaking.
This isn't a lightsaber.
That's as good as it's gonna get for reality, is what they're saying. So you either like the video or not. That's all they're trying.
I can feel the sparks. Those are just
I can feel the
force. Thanks, Taylor.
Oh, they have the rights to the music. We're probably going to get ripped offline for that music.
Get us through that door, Taylor.
All right. Well, they did go through that door, but that's not a lightsaber. That is not a lightsaber, you guys.
It's a dark saber.
This is a lightsaber.
Dark saber. Oh my god! I have to show you guys the actual dark saber that just came out. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, that's right. You were telling me about that.
Where? Oh, didn't I email that to myself? Oh no.
You emailed it, yeah.
Oh, so where is it?
Martin Morales is on. What's up, brother, man?
Martin, what's going on, Martin?
What's up, Pilo?
That's the man right there.
Oh, where's my silly thing right here?
You emailed it because I got the email earlier with the picture, so I thought you were gonna save them and show them on here also, that dark saber.
Why isn't it coming through here? Let me see here. Oh, okay. All right, I got it now, finally. All right. This is absolutely bugged out. If anyone's not seen this yet, this is crazy.
Let us see this.
There's
Saber.
an actual dark saber. Solos Hold posted this on Instagram today. And I really feel like this is, well, actually, let's just see if there's anything more in this video real quick.
Wow.
All right.
Awesome. Taylor Gray. And remember, we are...
No, that's not a lightsaber, no.
Hey, this is 2017. We're in 2020 now. They might have something where it's just...
That's true. That's true. I shouldn't judge them for that 3-year-old video.
Yeah, they might have it down packed now, and you'll see a light now.
But they did send me that link today. They're like, look, our lightsaber video. I'm like, oh my god, that's 3 years old? Okay, let's see this dark saber. This is crazy. So it says in the, you guys can't see the whole quote at the bottom of this Instagram post, but it says that after a bunch of like long days and nights and a bunch of research by Solos Hold and Obi Shane and I guess a bunch of other people, they have come out with this, and I'm thinking it's NeoPixel. I don't really know anything about it. I just thought it was a cool picture because I don't know for sure, but I kind of think that this, like, my gut feeling is that this particular picture is like realistic to how it looks. And you guys know that Solos Hold also makes the lightsaber itself, like the dark saber hilt.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's out yet, but I know that they've been, working on that. What do you guys think? Harris, you're not saying anything.
I'm looking. I'm trying to, it's hard to see on the screen, but
I wish they would have had like a video or something up close.
Yeah, I'd rather see it in video to be, and you of course know, Ant, that even our sabers look different on camera than they do in real life, So I'd like to know what it looks like in real life,
I guess from like all the twisting different angles, because this is probably one of those blades that's like a ripper blade where it's flat. So I'd like to know how it, like, this is one side of it. What does it look from the front and the back? But I kind of think that this is the legit one. Like, I think that this is the legit dark saber blade. That's just my gut feeling right now. That tells me that they cracked it with this dark saber blade. I don't know how. I don't know any more details. We'll find out like in the coming days or weeks about this. Whether it's
yeah, I've seen a couple others made, some other dark sabers similar to this, but that's what I'm saying. I want to see this particular one you're showing us now up close and in detail to really see how they made this,
right?
And how it ignites and how it retracts and all that other good stuff,
right? Because kind of all I kind of know about it now is this picture. That's it.
Yeah, I remember seeing and I can't remember who it is now. I forget. I don't even know if it was the guy that makes those ripper blades or whatever. I remember seeing somebody make one of these and posting a video of it, and I don't remember if it was on Facebook or YouTube, but I mean, they could only get better with time. That was like over a year ago that I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just looks like a white blade with the center cord blacked out, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, but I mean, time will tell, like you said, Gabe. You know, time will tell. Let's see how it comes along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there was. I'll tell you guys something else too. I'll bring that I watched that show again, The Gallery. There was a quick scene in one point where they were talking about the bad guy in I forget his name, the emperor, not the emperor, the
in the Mandalorian.
He lands on that ship. He lands on like a TIE fighter ship, and he comes out. He cuts himself out with the dark saber. I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was a scene from where they were filming that. It was like just a behind the scenes shot that they showed, and it looked like the saber was lit up. So it looked to be an actual, not an after effect. It looked to be what it looked like in the final production, if you follow what I'm getting at. But it was a behind the scenes shot with no special effects. So it looked to me like the hilt, they had it lit up. And for all we know, they have a wire going into it, running down through his outfit and to the back, you know. But it looked just like this blade I'm looking at here.
For real.
I saw that. If you guys should watch that show, look for that scene. I forget. There's 2 episodes of that show out, and I forget where it was.
Well, that kind of brings to mind something. I wonder if the people that work on that show making that prop are either A, prop builders who just follow stuff that's going on in the lightsaber community, like this project, and get some hints and tips and make their own thing like this around the same time, or are they like, are these guys here, like Solos Hold and friends, and who knows, are any of these guys helping, or like Ripper Blade type people like Gary Ripper, maybe he's helping do it, or I don't know, Harris, but that's interesting that you say that it looked like this to you and it was like a production shot.
Yeah, my cable's not working great, like I said, but it's I tried to rewind it, but I lost the spot where it was at. It's literally like a millisecond long where you see it on screen, but it was, you know, of course, being a lightsaber fanatic, when I see a saber on screen, my eyes go right to it. And it had that black core with that white outer edge.
Wow.
To it. And the guy was just holding it in his hand while the director was talking to him, if you follow what I'm getting at, you know? So
this is something really special
added that I know of, you know?
Wow, dude, that's crazy news. I think that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've heard stories that in the last trilogy, in movies 7, 8, and 9, that they used sabers like we build, and this way you could
saw that glow, in the,
you know, you could get the glow of the saber moving in the background, and the glow, like the afterglow on the actor's face and stuff like that you would see. So, you know, it's coming along, you know.
Yeah, because that's all like effects that you just can't do in post, like we've talked about before. So it's just really awesome that they do that with the props that they're holding. I remember seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff for like The Force Awakens. I'm sure they did it in the subsequent movies as well.
Yeah, like I'm a Green Lantern fan, as you guys know, and I have a couple replica lanterns here from the movie with Ryan Reynolds. And I mean, the one in the movie is super bright. It's like it has a 1,000-watt light bulb in it, glowing. And in the movie, you know, production, you know, you don't know this, but there's a wire and it just plugs in. It, you know, it's got power to it. It plugs into the wall, you know. But it's cool that they're making this stuff more realistic, so that when they actually do the actual image, you're seeing all that. Like the original lightsaber scenes that we saw, you know, they were holding a spinning rod and they couldn't really hit with them, which is why I guess, you know, on top of the fact that Kenobi was an old man, so to speak, and Vader was in a suit. That's one of the reasons why I would say we weren't getting that fast lightsaber contact of the prequels, if you follow what I'm getting at. You know?
You're saying it's because they may be holding these weighted tubes?
Say again? I didn't hear it.
Like you're saying, it's because of like they were holding these weighted tubes and not.
Well, no, the
sticks?
lightsabers that they were holding, in real world theory, if I'm not mistaken, was a circular blade in the first movie, in the New Hope.
Right.
The blade is spinning, and it has
okay.
reflector tape on it.
The
and
rotoscoping,
they shined a light on it, and that reflector tape, like when I say reflector tape, think like when we were all kids and we had bikes with reflectors on them, and the light would hit it and the light bounces back into the camera. That's what gave us that effect. And then, of course, they added effect to it after the fact. But, these guys were using these spinning blades, so to speak. You can't smack them together like you're really fighting, I would imagine. It would ruin the prop, and that would ruin the scene or the shot, I guess, right?
Mm. They would often times bend and destroy that foil that was there.
Yeah, compared to what we have today that you and I are building. And, when you and I go out in our backyard and we play with our sabers and take pictures of it, looks amazing. Looks real deal to me. Right off the movie set.
That's crazy, man. That's so wild.
Yeah. So I also have another thing to report. I got 2 updates last week through a Facebook page on my flame hilt. Hopefully I'll see that before I die. I've been waiting 1.5 years for it, patiently. But the pictures that I see, it looks to me like they changed a few things since the original. The original looked like it had a USB 2.0 or like a phone jack as a charger, and I think they switched to a 2.1 jack like we use, one of the Switchcraft ones, So a couple little things I think are different now than when they first released it, but it's still a beautiful piece. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I see it soon.
I definitely can't wait to see that one. I've been anticipating that for as long as you have, man. Since the moment I laid my eyes on that thing, I fell in love with it.
What do you guys think? I mean, at this point, I've waited so long for it. Do I build it or do I keep it as a special piece and just put it away?
I think you got to build it, of course.
I was gonna say there's no way I would have waited this long to not build it and show it off and take it everywhere I go, man. That would have been
I'm gonna be afraid to take it out of the box, man.
That would be my belt, bitch.
Yeah, you got to start. When you get it, start planning it. Measure with these little with these calipers.
Yeah.
Measure everything, and then create interior bits for it. It'll be like a project that you could take a while and make it really, really excellent as far as however you want it to be in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's already a beautiful piece from what I've seen. I'm excited to see it, in person, hold it, I might sleep with it for a couple nights.
That's a nice
I would.
piece. I love those pictures of it you showed.
I take my toys to bed with me sometimes.
Season 2 of The Mandalorian starts in October.
I think it's a year away, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, it says October.
October.
I don't know how that's possible, honestly, because I guess unless they're still filming or have the shots they need, they're just able to edit it and put in the effects at this point. That's pretty ambitious. They're gonna have it in October. That's pretty incredible. What do you guys think about all these characters that they're saying are going to be in The Mandalorian next season? Are you aware of all those people like Boba Fett and the different people that they say are going to be in there, like Captain Rex?
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Captain Rex. Of course, we've talked about it before. I did know about Ahsoka's going to be in part of it. And I think I had heard that Boba Fett's going to make an appearance, but other than that, I hadn't heard anybody else.
Yeah, it almost seems like I heard, or I read a funny comment on one of the videos about this just yesterday or the day before, I think, when this news came out, and it said, "What is there? Just 200 people in the galaxy?"
Nice.
Because it's so small.
Nice. That's funny.
that this one dude is going to run into all these recognizable people. This galaxy is supposed to be ginormous. Like, what's going on? Why would you run into these people? That's so cheap. Like, make new people, like, or he runs into new people, like Cara Dune was a new person, like
Yeah, and I liked her character. I thought she was great. And
I love her. I've always loved her, man. Since she was a US fighter, a UFC fighter, I used to freaking follow her. So I've always been a fan of hers, man.
Yeah.
So when I saw her coming out, I freaked out.
Yeah, they got her. They got a bunch of new characters that they introduced in the first series, including some goofy episodes that, like the one that like Bill Burr was in. I liked his character, but that episode seemed weird. But there was just a bunch of characters that they didn't kill, that they still have access to, or just new characters because it's a galaxy far, far away, huge galaxy. You don't need to rip from and it's not like they'll just never make it better. They're not going to make the story any better by, like, let's say him meeting up with Lando or him meeting up with Boba Fett. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, but could it really make their journey better?
Yeah,
like their story better?
I think that responsibility there falls on the writers. The writers are really going to have to do their homework to get a good story as to why we're seeing these, like you're saying, the same characters again over and over or whatever. If they do a good story, a good background story, a good plot, all that other stuff, it might be worth it because these Boba Fett and Rosario Dawson, for example, as Ahsoka, all these people already have huge fan base. People want to see them, but give us a reason to enjoy the show too. Don't just throw Rosario Dawson in there just because it's Rosario Dawson and it's crappy dialect or crappy writing. And the same thing with Tamora and all that other stuff is Rex. I think that responsibility there falls on the writing.
And the
new
writing, the producers, the directors.
Yeah,
it's all of them.
Like if it's going to be, I don't know, Rex and Ahsoka and stuff, just make a live action show with them. Because like the thing is, if this was like a season of The Flash on the CW where we would have 25 episodes, like I could be like, oh, okay, I actually get it. Like if you had 25 episodes and you're going to have Ahsoka in one of them or two of them, maybe there's an arc that's like a to be continued arc and Ahsoka's in 3 of them, and you got maybe Boba Fett appears in one of them, even though I think he's dead, and you got all these other people. Okay, because you got 25 episodes, I get it, but The Mandalorian, at least in the first season, was 8 episodes, wasn't it, Gabe? Was it 8?
Yeah. I think it was 8.
That's not enough to really. I mean, The Mandalorian, it should be, and we have Baby Yoda. We have these characters that are already there that we need to deal with still and continue with. I guess, Ahsoka might make sense if they say, listen, we need help with this Baby Yoda because he needs to understand by someone that understands the Force. Okay. That would make sense why somebody so obscure and unique in the galaxy would have to come near them. Okay, I get it, because it's like there's no Jedi left, Order 66 and all that stuff, and Luke is out there somewhere, but there's really no Jedi out there except for him maybe. And then Ahsoka comes by. Okay, maybe she needs to babysit the Baby Yoda or something like that. But to have as many names as I was hearing, that's too many names to be, first of all, in 8 episodes, and second of all, to be like just part of their periphery in this world that's supposed to be ginormous.
All I'm saying is if they're gonna have her Yoda sitting on some planet, right? It better be like a 2-episode thing with her in it, at least 2 or 3 episodes long. And they better freaking shit. You're not gonna put Ahsoka Tano in the Mandalorian and not have her bust out her sabers. She better bust out her sabers to protect that Baby Yoda. Something's got to happen where she's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what people want to see. Not 45-year-old Ahsoka like this up in the mountain. Like I watched a child, and then that's it. I want to see something happen because we're talking about Rosario Dawson too. She's badass in herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the same thing with having Rex on there. Rex has got to do something badass, that dude's been a soldier his whole life. He's like the real Rambo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're gonna have to like really
come on and kick ass.
Not for a second, you know. Don't tease us. Give it to us.
Yep.
Give us what we want.
That's what I want to see. And doing all her crazy stuff. That's what I want to see.
Definitely.
And then the baby Yoda just using the Force and going, sticking out his hand using the Force, helping her out. That's funny.
Yeah, I wonder. They're gonna have to get pretty clever, I think, to make that work. It just really seems like cramming.
It's definitely gotta be some. Oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Some content to it, you know, some story. They better write something
Martin's
good.
Right. 8 wasn't enough.
Yeah,
I
that
agree.
you know, considering so many other, I guess it's just expensive to make this show, but just considering so many other popular shows run longer, at least 10 episodes, at least 12 episodes. Sometimes on Netflix you get like 12 or 14 or 15 episodes of something. That's really nice to you know, you don't have a limitation here. It's not a documentary where the story ends and the murderer goes to prison and the story's over. No, it's like this is a wide galaxy where you can do whatever you want. And the way that
generations.
Yeah, and the way that they've been filming this, it looks like they've developed some new technologies where they've made it cheaper to transport the Mandalorian and all the different characters to all these far-flung places because of the way that they film it. The way they film it in front of these sound stages, in front of these blue screens or whatever it is, they're able to make any background that they want. I guess they're kind of figuring out ways to do this stuff better and cheaper, faster.
That's right. We want more than 8. I want 25. and then a month later, I want another 25.
Yeah.
Definitely. Gabe, you pick up any new fonts this week?
Not this week, unfortunately.
Oh, Gabe, you know what I need for Edmundo? I need, you know how we have Cyber Assassin? Do we have Cyber Assassin in Profi? Or was that like or was that like Plector Cyber Assassin version?
No,
You know,
I think it was Profi.
It was Profi. Okay, I do need a Profi version of that.
It's in. I think it's in that Profi board. My board that's at your
Okay,
house.
I got that then. Perfect.
You're gonna have to look through that. I just can't get that thing to work. But if you can figure it out, it was in there last I know.
Okay.
And you said Shamim took it down, right? He took down all his fonts and stuff like that.
Yeah, like that's why my friend couldn't find it. Edmundo couldn't find it.
I think I could have sworn there was another version of Cyber Assassin or a new version of Cyber Assassin or something.
With the smooth. Was it like was the one we had not smooth and then we needed the smooth one or something?
I think the one we had was not smooth. It's one of the original ones. But I can't. I don't remember exactly. That thing has been sitting at your house for so long. We'll have to figure out how to get that board working and figure it out. Thanks a lot, Todd.
Where's that picture from, man?
My friend sent it to me today. I have no idea like what it's from.
You know, it's funny. I was on Facebook. Of course, you know, I mean, like we meet people all over the world. And I have a friend, I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was a Facebook friend, and it was in somewhere else. It wasn't local to me or you, Ed, but they would have a lightsaber night at a
Your
local
faith in your
restaurant.
friends is yours.
They would have the dinner, and then they would have a lightsaber duels. They did it at a restaurant on the dance floor at the restaurant. Is that your coffee cup?
Yeah, you like it?
I like it.
Lord Vader.
What's the back look like?
It's like the back of his helmet. It's just hollow in the top that you could put your drink in there.
Gotcha.
It's one of these, like, it almost looks like a bobblehead because his body's kind of small, but it's a mug.
Love it. Should I put on my Vader helmet and match it?
Mark says Saberforge uses Cyber Assassin and other fonts made by Shamim. Wonder what that deal was like. If it was anything like the deal that Ultra Sabers made with Novastar, then it wasn't any good at all because they just robbed Novastar of everything.
Shamine's
On day
taking a
one.
loss on that, man.
I bet you if they're like how they are, they probably gave Shameen 50 cents and pushed him out the door.
He's lucky if he got the 50 cents, I would have to say.
What's that? What did they do? You said?
Well, like with my buddy Novastar, Matthew, like Ultra Sabers really screwed him up, really screwed him over by like making this deal with him to do his to do his sound fonts in their boards, and then basically on day one, like they had made a video that was announcing it. Novastar was in the video. They were like, "Yeah, our fonts are available on the new proprietary Ultra Sabers board. Isn't that great?" Yes, it's great. The very next day, they just basically canceled everything out. Like he was supposed to get like maybe he was going to get like $1. Like every time they sold the Saber, he was going to get like $1 because he was going to put like 10 or 15 of his sound fonts, like whatever it was, on their every Saber that they sold.
Yeah.
So they're going to give him, like 10 cents each. Or they're going to give him like $1, whatever. It was nothing. It was nothing, right?
Wow.
They were going to sell each Saber for $4.49. They can't give him $1. So they had made that agreement. We're going to give you $1, whatever the agreement was. I don't know. On day one, on day two, they said, no, we're not giving that to you anymore. And he was finished. He was finished. So I doubt, if Shamim got anything, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same company, but I think of them as the same. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, Martin says, Gabe, we should make our own font. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I got an idea for a font that I was going to have Novastar make, but he kind of been getting out of the Saber font business. But I wanted to do something like, and I think there must be something like it out there, but I just think it'd be sweet to have something called Ultimate Anakin, like the Ultimate Anakin font, and have like, Anakin quotes and have just a really ferocious, like almost like a dark side Anakin sound font. That'd be sick. Something like for aggressive Anakin.
Yeah, they do have what's his face made it. Juan Sith.
He's got like a good Anakin one.
He's got an angry Anakin. That's one.
Okay, that's cool. So it's out there. Something like that's out there.
I have that one
available for a smooth swing. I'll buy it if it is. I love a good Anakin font.
Yeah, and it's actually I think it's Palpatine that calls his name.
Howard must fire. Ray Skywalker.
Ascension.
Anakin.
That one.
You are the most gifted Jedi I've ever met.
Remember that was the one I said I wanted to remove all the vocals from it because it was annoying.
Oh right. That's
it.
You had trouble. I like those vocals. You crazy?
That's the angry Anakin. Yeah,
I like those vocals.
Right before he turned evil.
Do what must be done.
Love that.
Yep.
Show no mercy.
All right,
Make
fellas.
your choice.
All right, we're gonna wrap up this show tonight. Do you guys have anything else you want to discuss?
No. I think that was it. I think that's all on my agenda.
That's all your fault, Gabe. Lightsaber Night has been canceled. Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my homework for next Saber Talk. I'm gonna do plenty of research on. I'm gonna check all the sites for what's going on with Sabers and things like that. I did mention to you though how because I meant to do some look up some more of his stuff today, and I didn't have time because of work. But Starfall Sabers, his work is immaculate, man. Immaculate. I even shot him a message the other night asking him about his commissions and prices and stuff because I might end up jumping on that bandwagon soon. I mean, he's done for the year, but maybe next year if I have an opportunity. Starfall Sabers is amazing.
You were emailing him, asking him what kind of underwear he wears. So you could be more like him. Or...
Yeah, I want to be just like you.
Do what must be done.
Hashtag undergarments.
Are you threatening me?
All right, guys. It's been awesome hanging out as always. Thank you to
thanks
all
for
you
joining us,
guys.
everybody. I have to go work on sabers. I got to get Mark's lightsaber out. I got to get a Qui-Gon video made. I got to get a Graflex video made. I have like sabers that are finished, and I just have to make a video for.
Yeah.
So
And
look forward to that coming up.
when this whole COVID thing lifts and we're allowed to get together again, I'm going to be jumping to your house the same way Ray jumped off the edge of that Star Destroyer and into the Millennium Falcon. She did that
right into the Destiny.
Coming into the ship, you know?
I don't know if I saw that part of the movie. When did that happen?
Middle to the end, when she faces off with Kylo Ren on the platform deck and all the
and then she jumps off.
her.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I remember that part. I don't know if I saw that part.
She jumps for the hill. She jumps for the ship. You know, the ship comes hovering behind the platform.
Yeah.
And Finn screams out, "Ray, jump!"
I like the
jumps and fly. She almost flies. She jumps to a flying leap and then grabs a hold of the bar for the strut for the landing ladder thing that comes out and does a spin around to get into it. It's pretty cool. That's how
as soon as this is over, we're coming to have a sleepover. We're all wearing Star Wars onesies.
I was even thinking about the other day how I want to just like order pizza when you guys come over. I haven't had any like junk food, like good food like that, you know, gross stuff that you order. I would love to.
Yeah, definitely. We had to get a couple pies of pizza, get in our Star Wars pajama onesies.
It's this Jersey after all. Oh, we need a pizza pie.
Yeah, and just break night messing with sabers. All right, guys. So thanks again.
Hang on. Before we let go.
This Lord. There he goes. Lord Vader. Henceforth, you shall be known as. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks everybody that tuned in. Come back and join us next time for Saber Talk Live. Thanks, Harris. Thanks, Gabe. We'll see you again soon.
You guys got it.